All right, welcome back. Meanwhile, the Buccos with a big come-from-behind win today. 5-run deficit, come back to win in the ninth inning. Scored 6 runs throughout the game, 6-5 winner in that game against the first-place Mets. And Jeff, one of the big stars, they had a couple big stars. One of the big ones was the big Nogowski. The Pirates look like they got a future starter here, right?
Obviously, he's going to hit 400. He's going to drive in 180 runs. And if he had a brother, that should have been their first pick in the draft. Nogowski, I mean, he's got everything a Pittsburgher would love. First of all, he's coming through in the clutch. He uses Springsteen as his walk-up music, and he's got a great nickname with his, with his name. So, but it's a great story. Listen, he was sitting behind Goldschmidt. He was only getting pinch hit opportunities with St. Louis. He comes to the Pirates. He takes advantage for a week. We'll see how long it lasts. Remember how hot Phil Evans was, and it fell off, and he's now at 208 when he's able to come back from his injury. So it's a great story. It's a fun story for a team that's struggling this year. Why not have fun with a guy with a cool name who's having some success?
Yeah, no, it's a great story, like you said, Jeff. What I take away from today's game, and really the last week or so, is Rodolfo Castro coming out of nowhere and looking like a guy who might be able to provide something. Skipping AAA, coming straight up here from Altoona. And, as we look ahead to an Adam Frazier trade in the next couple of weeks, I would think maybe Castro's a piece going forward. Maybe he moves over and takes some reps at second base. He's obviously not going to supplant Brian Hayes at third, but move him around the infield. See if you got something there. They just picked up D. Strange Gordon as well, who's playing down in Indy right now. They're obviously preparing for life after Frazier, and maybe Castro is a part of that. Who knows?
Well, Castro right now should be playing second base because he's on the 40-man roster, or he was even before this call-up. He obviously factors into their plans even a little bit that they had him protected in that kind of way. So, look, as far as I'm concerned right now, you're trying to trade Adam Frazier. I know the Mets, knowing them as well as I do, they're not going to play Adam Frazier at second base. If they trade for him, he's going to be an outfielder. So I think the White Sox, with all their outfield injuries, might be in the same boat. So why not play Frazier in right field? Who else are you going to run out there? Wilmer Defoe right now? I mean, Gregory Polanco's still injured, and even if he's healthy, I don't want to watch him play anymore. So I give Castro reps starting at bats at second base now, and I think even while they're trying to trade Frazier, playing him in left field or right field actually shows his versatility and makes him an even better trade asset.
I don't know if I'd want to expose. He's a much better second baseman, Andrew, than he is an outfielder, corner outfielder. And the Mets could also move Jeff McNeil over to third and leave Frazier at second if that's the piece that they end up picking up. I think in Chicago with the White Sox, it makes more sense for him to play second and then spot up in corner outfield spots. I'm not looking to move Adam Frazier all over the place and make him any more uncomfortable than he is right now, because he's extremely comfortable. He's hitting the ball all over the place, leads the majors in hits. Let him continue to do what he does until you finally pull the trigger on a move.
Another option is, he can play shortstop. Why not at least spell, he spelled Brian Hayes today. Why not spell Kevin Newman? I know Newman had a big hit in the ninth, but who would you rather see at shortstop?
You also could put Newman at second base, right? And Castro at short. I mean, you have a lot of options. Real quick, before we go to break, in my opinion, Adam Frazier is as good as gone. Is there any chance that they keep him around, Pony?
No, and I don't know. Pompiani, a guy that's so well respected, he's in so many Hall of Fames. He's paying for his daughter's wedding, so he's made a lot of money. I can't believe Bob has lost his mind. He wants the Pirates to sign Adam Frazier to a contract extension. Look, I like spending other people's money too, but that would be a terrible decision to give a guy that's having a career year and doesn't hit for any power. You're going to give that guy a contract extension at 30? No, you can't do it, Bob. You pay for your daughter's wedding. You don't pay for Adam Frazier.
No, well, pomp it all, Pony. I agree. Adam Frazier's value is never going to be higher. You move on from him in the next couple of weeks, and it sounds like there's going to be a pretty package in return.
And the assumption is that Frazier wants to sign here. That's what people forget. That's what fans forget. He may not want to sign here. He might want to go see what a pennant is like.
Yeah, the problem is the Pirates need quality and quantity, so you would get some of that by trading Adam Frazier. Coming up next, we'll go into Steelers discussion and Ben Roethlisberger. Stay right there.